Hey guys, and welcome to Learning Plan 3. I'm going to keep this pretty brief because you guys also have another PowerPoint that you look at throughout this learning plan. So let's get an overview of what we're going to do on this learning plan. You know, guys, what we see of people on the outside is very important, but it's just one small part of what explains a person's behavior. As we move through this learning plan, we're going to discuss diversity and the surface characteristics that are not noticeable from the outside. So we're going to spend some time peeling back the layers of an individual's inner self, from a more stable and enduring attributes to the beliefs and values that lie under the surface of those we work with in organizations. Okay, so let's talk about our learning activities. So you're going to complete the managerial assumption self-assessment. You're going to need this for discussion 3. You're going to read chapter 3 in organizational behavior. You're going to review the other chapter 3 PowerPoint presentation. You're going to watch the YouTube video on core values and company culture. You're going to construct a bibliography. So as you're researching the company you've selected, begin developing a bibliography that will be useful in writing the final paper. You're going to participate in discussion 3. And you're going to view the LP3 seminar, which you're doing now, and complete the assessment, which I'm going to give you that at the end. And remember, guys, complete both LP3 quizzes. And, you know, like I said, the quizzes are my fault because I had to cut on the second quiz or make it visible. So I've gone back and done that, so you're not going to be penalized. Okay, so the assignment for this LP3 is you're going to describe each of the following concepts and explain how the organization you chose applies or utilizes them to accomplish their objectives. So we're going to talk about motivation, communication, power and political behavior, organizational design, and structure. Guys, make sure you hit on every one of these because this section of the paper should be 2 to 4 pages long. You're going to read the organizational behavior final paper outline. It will kind of give you additional instructions for completing the project. You're going to submit this assignment to the Dropbox. It's worth 100 points. So guys, as we go along in these learning plans, if you will follow the length with each learning plan, you will meet the length requirement at the end. So that's very important. Make sure this is 2 to 4 pages long. So let's talk about organizational behavior, perceptions, and attributes. People's perceptions and attributions influence how they behave in their organization. Perception describes the way people filter, organize, and interpret sensory information. Attribution explains how people act, determining how people react to the actions of others as well. You know, someone told me a long time ago that perception is 90% of the rule. And the way we perceive things, if you really think about it, there's some merit to that. So accurate perceptions allow employees to interpret what they see and what they hear in the workplace effectively to make decisions, complete tasks, and act in an ethical manner. Faulty perceptions can lead to problems in the organization, such as stereotyping, that lead people to make errors in assumptions. So, you know, one of my big beliefs is, you know, it starts at the top. Leadership needs to act in a way that's ethical, hardworking, that kind of thing, because perception goes down, you know, from the top to the bottom of the organization. So when people in organizations find themselves in unfamiliar situations, they tend to have difficulty coping. Effective business professionals handle objections to their ideas by clearly stating the benefits of their position to all parties. You know, when you present a compelling case for new ideas, people get approval for their proposed strategy, even if it's opposed, or you get into a confrontation. By actively recognizing people's perceptions and attributions, effective leaders build justifications for their approach and get support when needed. And you know, as you guys have gone through your classes, communication is a big thing with change. So here again, if leaders effectively communicate, show some benefits, people will usually buy into it. So people commonly attribute success to skill, luck, or chance. People tend to react to situations based on what they think caused the event. Just as perceptions can be faulty, attributions can be inaccurate as well. Organizations can ensure people attribute actions more effectively by providing diversity training. Diversity training is very important. Um, in my organization, we have 41 people, and not one of them has the same personality traits. Some have been raised, you think about how people are raised and how they're brought up, and I mean by, do they live in a different state? Is their religion different? So diversity is important, and respecting each other's diversity is even more important. So people tend to evaluate other people on their ability, effort, or personality. They also attribute luck or the difficulty of a task to a success or failure. The attributions people make for their own behavior also influence performance in an organization. People's perceptions and judgments of other person's actions depend on if reactions occur consistently or inconsistently. Recognizing that people have cultural beliefs, motives, and intentions help explain behavior and helps rectify non-productive situations. And by understanding the common causes of behaviors, individuals can react more appropriately. But, what I have found inside our organization is, we have customer service representatives, and there's 4 that sit beside each other on the front and 2 at the drive-through. And they literally, you would be surprised about how much attention they pay to what the other is doing. So lots of times, this one thinks this one's not doing as much as they are. So what I have to do in many situations is prove them otherwise. We have records of transactions that are taken, and we have records of phone calls that are taken. So this one might be processing more payments, but this one's taking more phone calls. So you have to change the perception sometimes. You would think that in organizations with grown-ups, you wouldn't have to do this, but you do, and that is a problem that happens a lot. So let's talk about minimizing bias. Minimizing biases that distort attribution can help foster effective teamwork. Edward Thorndike, an American psychologist, observed that perception of one trait is influenced by other traits, known as the halo effect. It would probably be a good idea, guys, if you would Google the halo effect and look at it, because we're probably going to talk more about that in other learning plans. This bias causes people to judge people they find attractive as smart. And you would think that this doesn't happen, but actually it does. In our front counter, we have found that customers, even coming in to make payments, treat attractive people a little better. Not that they don't treat the other ones well, but the attractive ones are a little better. They stay around a little longer to talk. They laugh a little longer, almost flirt, if you want to call it that. So this does make there's value in this statement. So we'll talk about the halo effect some more later. So in conclusion, guys, again, make sure you take both quizzes in each LP. There is a length requirement for your paper, so make sure you follow that in all LPs. And if you do that in each learning plan, you're going to meet the requirement at the end. So from now on, I'm going to be asking some questions in our discussion so we're able to make attendance requirements. It's kind of hard with just a couple of us. So for the seminar assessment this time, what I want you guys to do is give me an example in the organization you're in now of perceptions and differences in personality. It might be how customers treat people or how they treat each other. It can be, like I said, this one's not doing as much as I am, that kind of thing. So if you've ever had anything like that happen to you, or even you yourself have a perception of something that's going on in your organization, let's talk about it, let's explain it, and then when you guys do that, we'll be able to ask some questions in our discussions. So anyway, guys, take care. If you need me, please let me know. And do not forget to check your messages every day and check the message board in the classroom. Thanks, guys.